CD Projekt Red just held their earnings call today, and with it, we got some updates about Cyberpunk Orion, The Witcher 4, and cdpr's other projects. First, with Cyberpunk Orion. The team has been increasing, with 84 devs currently working on the sequel as of February, up from 64 as of October of last year. And by the end of this year, they plan to double these numbers. They're currently finalizing their concepting phase, and in the next few weeks will move into pre-production. Cyberpunk 2077 Ultimate Edition will also be coming to Mac this year, and will be available on GOG, Steam, Epic, and the Mac App Store. 2077 has also sold 30 million copies, and 8 million copies for Phantom Liberty as of November 2024. When asked about release dates for any of the Cyberpunk projects, they said they weren't ready to provide that information, but the Netflix anime and live-action show are in different stages of production. The slide said new Cyberpunk animation project on Netflix and more coming soon. For The Witcher 4 has moved into full-scale production. There are currently 411 devs working on The Witcher 4, which is majority of the studio. It will not be released in 2025 or 2026, and they implied 2027 would be the earliest possible window, but they did not give any solid confirmation. They are also still planning on releasing a new trilogy for this series, within the planned 6-year window, and are working quickly and efficiently in Unreal Engine, so they don't see any issues with this timeline. cdpr is also in the process of remaking The Witcher 1, which is currently in the concepting phase. Project Sirius, another Witcher game, is also in pre-production. They're also working on a new IP, which is in the IP concepting phase with 17 people working on it. cdpr also announced a collaboration with Scopely for most likely a new mobile game with one of their IPs. Scopely also recently acquired Niantic Game Studio, the studio behind Pokemon Go and other mobile titles. For their actual earnings, I'm not going to really get into details, but the studio is doing very, very well, with Cyberpunk being the main driving force. I'll link the full report if you want to see the complete breakdown. So with all of this information, the question is, when will all of this even be releasing? All we can do is speculate, but I think the Cyberpunk anime will release this year, with the live action releasing maybe next year? I do also kind of expect them to do some kind of patch and add Easter eggs, the same way that they did for Edgerunners. I know they keep saying they're done updating the game, but I just don't believe them. That is pure speculation though. They did also kind of tease a little bit in one of their Red streams, so maybe there is something coming more with 2077, especially with how good the game is still doing. There was also some recent Steam activity, so maybe 2077 really is not dead yet. But either way, I still think Orion is very far away. The Witcher 4 could release in 2027 at the very earliest, and that is just pure speculation based on what they said. They didn't confirm anything. And they wouldn't want Cyberpunk and The Witcher to overlap. So maybe Cyberpunk could be in 2028 or 2029 at the earliest, but they also want to release 3 Witcher games within 6 years. So Cyberpunk Orion and their new IP will have to fit in there somewhere. Either way, cdpr is going to be extremely busy. It seems like they are really on the cusp of becoming a really big name. They already are, they're doing great. But from the information in these earnings calls, it sounds like 2027, 2028 could be the start of a bunch of cdpr games coming out. Maybe every year, every other year, or something like that, but they have a lot planned. I don't really expect to hear anything about these games until they're closer to release, especially considering how scrutinized they'll be. Orion's launch will especially be looked at very carefully. And I know they won't want another launch like they had with 2077. But they have the time and the money to let these games really marinate and be the best that they can when they release. Hopefully we get something substantial about Orion after The Witcher launches, which is when I'm expecting the earliest little bit of Orion to come out. But that won't be until maybe 2027 at the earliest, which kind of sucks. I am more excited for Orion than I am The Witcher 4. I bought all the Witcher games and I do plan on playing them, but as of right now, I haven't played them. But Orion is probably my most anticipated game, second to Exodus. I also think it could be coming out around maybe the time when Mass Effect 5 is coming out. So I think those years could be some really big years for games. Anyways, I hope we learn more about Orion soon, though to be honest, I'm not really expecting anything anytime soon, unfortunately. There was also one more interesting question in the Q&A portion of the earnings call. They were asked about AI, and they said that they are doing their own internal research on it, but as of right now, they don't plan to use generative AI and it won't be in the game. Maybe this could change, but as of right now, they're not using generative AI, which I am very happy about. So this was just a quick breakdown of everything from the earnings call. I will link it below if you want to go listen to it or read about it and see all the details yourself. But let me know what you think. When do you expect Cyberpunk Orion? When do you expect The Witcher 4? And what do you think about CDPR's future? Let me know in the comments, and thank you so much for watching.